This is one of my placement matches, and a pretty crazy one at that, with almost 40 kills in the game. Not eliminations, kills, folks. But maybe not for all the right reasons. Anyway, we were the CASSIE, and it was kind of my go-to to try and carry through some of the placement matches, as they were tough. The picks were questionable sometimes. Like here, the Grok was the last pick as the healer, and I don't blame the Grok. I think what's happened is they were a newer player, and that was probably one of the two healers they could pick up. They could have either picked up the Pip or the Grok, which is kind of on high res. A, because people can join in the ranked games without having loads of characters unlocked, and B, because they're giving new players two healers that aren't really that great as main healers. Anyway, we're just getting off. We've got the dodge roll build. If you saw there, it's basically building into incitement. And first of all, we're just going round to poke. I always dodge roll first because it's on cooldown now for about 3 seconds, and the likelihood is, if you hit, and normally you do get the first hit, you can roll again pretty much straight away when you need to. So you roll for the bonus damage and to come around. So the Drogos actually shot up me there. I should have chased around for the Drogos, and later in this match, it becomes more and more obvious that the Drogos was sort of holding it together. And I don't think I've ever been so shaky in a match before as this one. This was actually a bit of a derp, I think. I think I derped up this fight. I went into the smoke to try and find the sky, and I don't know how I lost that fight. That was a complete fail. Maybe start the path of why this match was tough, but it's one of the only 5 deaths I had in this match, and the objective is over. Again, this round, and Drogos into the Grok and the 2 tanks, because the 2 tanks have to keep coming to the Grok for the heals, but then they're together for the fire spit, and also the Fusillade Drogos, which I checked out at the start, had some pretty damn heavy rockets there, so I was focusing on the Drogos. I saw he was going for some damage. I need to get round on him. Again, missing some shots here. I'm not gonna lie, I did all my placements in one sitting, and before this, I think I just lost a game that lasted for ages as well, so I was quite shaky already. Able to just fight out this guy there, trying to pick off the healer. I saw her in there. There's 2 tanks and a healer. One thing you can go for with CASSIE is the Ruckus, because they are so easy to roll off. And here, this is just crazy. I shouldn't have won that, but the Drogos was able to get off a rocket. It was pretty unlucky that he was able to fire off the last rocket there, so we had mutually assured destruction there. So actually, 2 of my 5 deaths have already happened in the first few minutes of the fight. I was hoping that the Androxus would put some more pressure on the Drogos, but the Drogos was actually pretty clever in going behind a lot of the cover, and also without the heals, targeted heals, the Androxus was also dueled out sometimes, and with Fusillade you can, like, you know, get a few hits off an Androxus and take them out. Again, just jumped away there, so I missed the Drogos with the double shot, sometimes just comboing the blast shot and the first shot together, so I get the first shot with the bonus damage and then the second shot. So here you can see me drawing out the Ruckus. It is so hard as a Ruckus to hit a CASSIE that's rolling around you, and any good Ruckus can basically just bounce off you using the dodge roll, and it's really effective. Again here, got the Drogos pretty low, and got the kill. Okay, nice, so it will just poke them out. I'm in here in the back lines, and so unfortunately, if we were actually having the point here, we might have been able to push it through. I pushed up the Fernando, trying to push him to our allies, so our allies could shoot him from the front whilst I shot him at the back, but he turned around and went away. Again, I'm poking out the Drogos because it's the main priority target here. The Drogos in the sky, then the Serras, and then, well, I can use a Ruckus as a jumping board. To be honest, both of these tanks I can jump around and get the most damage. Even when he's ulting, I'm not that bothered because I can just jump left or right as he's trying to fire into me. Again, both of them down there, but the Drogos, the Androxus helped out. So going a bit better here. I actually think I held on to my ultimate a bit too long in this match. Again, trying to pick out the Drogos as the main target, although I knew that there was like 1 second left, and me being attacked there meant nobody else was moving forward, so actually I wasn't that bothered to die. And I was basically distracting both the Drogos and all the tanks at the back there, as they all just came off of their horses just to fight me. They probably should have just rode past me, to be honest, straight into the fight, but there we go. Again, the Drogos is kind of the biggest danger here, and I'm trying to pick him out whenever I can, but as a CASSIE, you sort of struggle a bit to get onto the high ground, and I'm always trying to poke around, take out the backliners whenever I can, but they're always higher than me, and the way on this map to go around is quite difficult, and on the right, getting hit by the fire spit and stuff is quite nasty. And I think as well, because I can't really get back to the Grok because I'm flanking a bit, that I'm not really getting any heals at all, so I'm having to just sort of rely on both my... So I've got the card where I get lifesteal whenever I hit a shot after dodge roll, the first shot after dodge roll. So I did actually use my ultimate here because I wanted to kill this guy, although that was a fail, like missed, and this was a really random duel as well. I was like, oh no, my ulti's gonna go, I mean, I was fired roughly to where the Sky was and finally able to kill her with the blast shot combo, going for Sarah's just because they were low. And also, they got immune there, so they must have been saved by the Fernando ultimate right there. Also, I'm watching this without the audio on, so that's not a help. But yeah, so I couldn't kill him because it was in the Fernando ultimate, otherwise that Drogus would have been down as well. But went down eventually, and I'm coming around again on the left side looking for some poke. Here I've got a bit of height advantage and waiting for the Sky, which kept coming around on this side as well to hopefully duel. And basically just poking anybody that comes out so they can't get to the point, or that's the idea at least. Not that it always works. Again, Drogus comes around, I see them. Thankfully, they're able to be blasted down straight away. The Androxus, I think, got the second shot on that. Wow. Okay, so knocked off the Fernando. There's always a nice little cheeky knockoff whenever you can with the disengage. Either use it to push somebody back that's coming to harass you, or knock them off whilst you're shooting at them, because it can disorient them as much as dodge rolling can. And especially if you miss your dodge roll, the disengage can be what saves you. Here as well, I just missed. I had a good shot there, guessing where they were going, but it was just slightly off, but able to finish them off anyway because they were pretty low. That was just a terrible shot. I should have definitely hit the Fernando. Sometimes with CASSIE, because you have to aim ahead of the enemy slightly, very, very slightly, you miss just because you're trying to guess where they're going to go rather than shooting straight at them. So I spot out the Sarahs on their own. Now I need to take them down, go straight in for that. Come around again, I'm quite low, and there's not really any heals, but the Grok totem, I think, maybe is on cooldown. That's probably why it's not coming out. Again, the Ruckus, because I know I can use them as a jumping board. I get one hit on the Drogos, but it is still quite hard. They were dodging left to right there, so they were doing pretty well to dodge my shots, to be honest. And then they're behind the lip of the spawn. I missed the Drogo cell. I should have seen him on that plank. I would have come around. Basically, I was coming around because I thought the Drogos was on this side, on this like elevated area, but it wasn't. He was on the other side. Again, I can't come around to Ruckus. It's because I'm on my own and on my team are sort of on the point, so I was like, I need to use the Ruckus to jump around. If I don't keep jumping, I'm going to die. But there, I was like, well, the Drogus is pretty low. I need to take him down quickly if possible. And by the spawn point, I can see the Drogus has got 7 seconds remaining, so they're not going to come out straight away. So I was safe, but this is a safe, that's a questionable safe. Nobody's actually dead, but the team have been pushed back somehow. Even though the Drogus was down. I don't know whether it's just sort of the heals, because the Grok can't heal people up, so they're having to disengage. So Fernando ulti went off, but you can still take people down to like 40% of health anyway, so you may as well shoot into it. Got one pick off, so just backlining a bit, being a bit more cautious. Although I saw the Drogos coming around, I was a bit scared of that. Although I thought they might come in for me, and I might be able to win the duel. Questionably, and unfortunately I missed that first shot, which would have been very ideal for taking them out. And then the Sky was there for some reason. Didn't notice me, which is always good. And I needed to come around again because I'm low health and I don't think there's much healing. So I was just like, well, this isn't ideal. I think the Grok is... Okay, the Grok has actually put down the totem and ultied into there. So I could have actually stayed with the Grok there, but I really wanted to jump around the Ruckus and take them out, which I do. But then I come into the Sky. I should have just not shot the Sky, to be honest, because, well, they should have noticed me, really. But they didn't, somehow. Okay, well, that was fine then. I was able to kill the Drogos. They were invisible because I was in the smoke, but still got the kill. And this is derpy, guys. I'm telling you now. I expected somebody... There's 4 people up, and I expected somebody to be on the point, and I just rolled in. I noticed, I panicked. I was like, oh my god, nobody's on the point. I need to jump in right now, and it's just a second late. If we'd have got that, it would have been over, and my stress would have been over. I would have been shaking so much. So I came back round again on the 3rd point, firing into the enemies, coming into here. I'm not really sure what's happened here, but we're fighting again. Slayed the Serras. Again, coming around for the Ruckus Tango. It's my little dance. I think, actually, I was being a bit too aggressive, maybe, with the Ruckus Tango, because I was like, yeah, I can just do this. I can just jump around them. But I was taking maybe a bit too much of a risk. Able to poke out both of the Sky and the Ruckus, although the Androx got the final shot on the Sky, but we did get some bonus damage. Unfortunately dragged into the ultimate, but I didn't die. I knew I needed to come in to try and help the Androxus with the Drogos. Unfortunately, Androxus went down, but the Drogos didn't follow through. If they'd have come around the corner there, I would have 100% been dead. So they decided too late that they wanted to come around the corner, and our Makawa came round, and thankfully saved me pretty much. And I used my ultimate because I thought, oh, this is the last push. So we need to kill the Sky because the Drogos was down. I thought the Sky was the next big thing that we didn't want to have around, but unfortunately they'd already killed the healer, while alongside the Fernando taking out the Grok. So there's no heals on our team anymore. but I saw the Ceres was pretty low. We went into that, and the Dragos, I missed my shots there. We'd got another shot, and then it went literally above me, so it was so hard to hit them. Finally took them down, but I was looking for another target because I could see that the Fernando, I couldn't really do much about that, and unfortunately I missed my shot, so I couldn't dodge again. And then here, if I'd have got the shot off on the Fernando, I didn't know why I looked to the spawn, to be honest. I think somebody was just about to come out. I think the Drogos had just come out, so I was looking around like, is the Drogos coming out right now? But unfortunately not. So we come straight back out again for the fight. And I think it was like a 30-something elimination streak there. Just ended, so the person that killed me, the Fernando 100% has their ulti up, which is unfortunate. And then here again, missing some of the shots. Unfortunately, I just pulled back because I was like, well, maybe I need to backline. Maybe I could have been more aggressive there. That could have helped. Maybe I could have gone back towards their spawn room. I don't really know what I could have done there to better off, but the Macau went in, so I was like, well, I need to commit a bit more just in case they do break through, but I wasn't that hopeful, and it didn't really pay off. Although we were able to take down that Drogos, which was nice because we got a little bit of ulti charge, a little bit of extra credits. And I was looking at my items, so I've already got, because I knew that Drogos was a big problem, the Fernando was also doing a lot to me, whereas the Sky Ruckus and Ceres weren't really doing much at all, so a bit of blast shields. The Kronos 1 actually makes it so that you can almost instantly dodge roll if you get your shot off. So before Kronos 1, with the full incitement, there's like a split second before you can roll again, but it's even less of a split second with Kronos 1, so that's pretty big. And I've basically gone for 3 cauterized because they actually have a healer and we don't, so I was like, well, we need to cut out all of their healing. They don't want to have any of that. And Life Rip, just because we're missing some of our dodge rolls, especially on the Drogos, so we want to still have something to keep ourselves up whilst we're fighting. And they don't really have much cauterized. They're not really that invested into taking down the Grok, so I'm not that worried. So we come in, I spot out the Ceres, then it was like straight, oh, okay, there's a Drogos, we need to take that out. And then use my ultimate because I saw that Sky was fighting somebody. I could have actually used the ultimate from the start, to be honest. I think I just forgotten to use it, in all honesty. I'm not gonna lie, I was stressing out a lot because of the match and going to 3-3. I was like biting my nails at the fact that we could lose. Again, I'm just trying to get the Drogos, but a few misses, which are really unfortunate. I looked then, I saw the Androxus was on the Drogos, so I was like, the Androxus has got it. It's fine, so I'll leave the Drogos to the Androxus, but I don't think the Androxus was able to follow through on that Drogos. The Drogos got away, which is really, really unfortunate because he was one of the things that kept them up and kept going. I think the Androxus is still chasing the Drogos were looking for them, but they were actually in our spawn, I think. So I was only poking out the Fernando there and able to kill the Fernando as it came around just to pick it off. As a CASSIE is sort of always trying to get into the back lines to pick out anybody really that's low damage. It's taking the role of the flank, I guess, but also being able to backline at the same time. That's why they're quite flexible and one of the best champions at the moment. Again, I saw the Drogos was low there, thankfully on the point and alone, because they were probably worrying about the fact that the point might go to us. I tried to disengage the Fernando off the point so that the contest might end, but unfortunately they were able to ulti and jump onto the point. And it's actually really dangerous here. I probably shouldn't have come onto the point, but I was worried that it was just going to go. I was also panicking, which was a big mistake. Almost able to take out the Ceres, but just not quite. Again, I go for the Drogos here because I see the Drogos is low, but I didn't get it. And thankfully, the Macau was able to take out the Drogos, which is what was big, taking out a point. And overtime kept ticking. And then it was so close. I was literally like, oh my, what is going on? Are we going to lose this? Please, no. Finally, we won. This was probably one of the most stressful games I've ever played. So 39 kills and only 5 deaths in the whole match. And 13 assists, so what's that? So that's 52 eliminations in the game, 142,000 damage. What was keeping them going was Topets on his Drogos, just being able to smash, I think, basically the Grok Totem, and also the 2 tanks are likely on the point, trying to go for those Grok heals. And when they're together, you can just fire spit them apart. Again, it's because partly people are able to join into rank without a lot of the characters, so you won't have necessarily a good healer involved. I don't know how I died so few times. I think it's just because I had to keep going out of combat, healing up just by myself, then rolling back in, trying to get into the back lines and just keep them harassed, because if our teammates went down or if they took damage, they had to go out of combat as well. So it was a really stressful game, but ended up winning, thankfully. And I've actually done all my placements, but I think I'm going to be showing some more of the matches because some of them are a bit more cut and dry, but this was probably one of the more interesting ones and the ones that are crazy. Anyway, what did everybody else think of this match? What do you all think about the placements? Have you played yours? Did you have a bit of a hard time too, especially with picks? Especially if somebody picked up 2 flankers. It happened quite a lot where the first pick would be Maeve and Zin, or Maeve, and somebody would be picking Sky, and you'd be like, please don't, please not 2 flankers to start off with, please not 1 flanker to start off with, please take a good tank like a Makoa or something like that, and maybe one of the main healers like Meldamba or Genos, please. And as somebody that's unranked, you can't do anything. Even if the person at the top is a silver, then they're going to get the picking privileges before you. And the ban was literally just Drogo and Willow bans first pick, a kind of a meme more than an actual strat. Anyway, what does everybody else think? Be sure to let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the like button. I'm definitely going to do some CASSIE like guides or something. Some of my other games, basically the ranked games where I got CASSIE went extremely well, especially when they're on some of the maps where I was able to roll around, have a bit more freedom. So Frozen Guard, I did really well with the CASSIE. It went good, like, you know, trying to carry a bit, but also just generally I'm quite happy on CASSIE, and she's probably one of the best champions at the moment generally in the game. She hasn't really had much problems with anything, and she has so much going for her. Anyway, hit the like button if you enjoyed it, subscribe for more of my content, and I'll see you all next time. Thanks for watching, everybody. Joshino.